How did American trucks get so enormous? Stand next to one in a parking lot. Really, stand next to it. The hood comes up to your chest. The grille sits at your eye level, a flat wall of black plastic and chrome staring back at you like the front of a freight train. And directly ahead of the bumper, there's a blind zone so deep a child could stand within 15 feet of the front of the truck, dead center, and completely vanish from the driver's view. This is a normal car now. This is what tens of millions of Americans drive to pick up groceries. And it did not happen by accident. 30 years ago, a pickup truck was a tool. It was lean. The hood was low enough to lean over and check the oil. You could see a kid on a bike behind you. It hauled lumber on weekdays and sat quietly the rest of the time. Today's version weighs 3 tons. Its hood sits 55 inches off the ground, taller than the roof of a sedan, taller than the average 8-year-old child, and most of them never haul anything heavier than a bag of mulch. Something changed. And it wasn't you. You've been told this is simply what people want, that Americans love big trucks, and the free market just gave them what they asked for. That's the comfortable story. It's also wrong. The American truck didn't grow because of your taste. It grew because of the rules. One tariff from 1964, one line drawn in 1975, and one fuel economy formula rewritten in 2011 that quietly made it more profitable to build the biggest, heaviest truck possible and punished anyone who dared to build a small one. The giant truck in your mirror isn't a choice. It's a loophole on wheels. To see how strange this is, you have to go back. In 1975, the U.S. government split every vehicle into 2 boxes, passenger cars and light trucks. Light trucks meant farm trucks and work trucks slow. Thirsty machines no family would ever use for the school run, so the government held them to looser rules. Weaker fuel economy, weaker emission standards. It seemed harmless. Trucks were a tiny corner of the market, driven by people who actually needed them. Nobody imagined that one day, roughly 8 out of every 10 new vehicles sold in America would be classified as a light truck. Here's how that little corner swallowed the entire market. It starts, of all things, with chicken. In the early 1960s, Europe slapped tariffs on American poultry. In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson hit back with a 25% tax on imported trucks. It was aimed at Volkswagen, which, at the time, sold cheap, small, genuinely useful pickups. That tax, the chicken tax, is still alive today, more than 60 years later. And it did something quiet and enormous. It walled the American truck market off from the outside world. No cheap imports. No small, efficient foreign rivals. Just Detroit, alone behind the wall, free to build trucks however it pleased and to charge whatever it liked. Then came the formula. In 2011, America's fuel economy rules were rewritten so that each vehicle's target, the miles per gallon it's legally required to hit, would depend on its footprint. Footprint is just the rectangle between the 4 wheels, the wheelbase times the width. And here is the trap. The bigger that rectangle, the weaker the requirement. A small car has to reach roughly 43 miles per gallon. Make the vehicle bigger, and its target drops. Reclassify it as a truck, and it drops again down to barely 30. So if you run a car company, the math is brutally simple. Building a small, efficient truck means chasing a punishing standard you can barely meet. Building a giant one means the government simply asks less of you. You are rewarded directly, in dollars, for making it bigger. A small truck became the single hardest, least profitable thing you could build. So they stopped building it. And this is the part that should change how you see every truck on the road. Most modern pickups are not work trucks. They are luxury living rooms wearing a work truck's costume. The cab has swollen to fit 4 full doors, leather seats, and glowing screens. Meanwhile, the bed, the part that's actually supposed to do the work, has quietly shrunk. Survey after survey finds the majority of pickup owners rarely or never use their truck to haul or tow anything at all. The ruggedness is paint. The capability is an image one you are paying $60,000 for. The truck isn't built to work, it's built to look like it could. And we have the receipts. Over the last 30 years, the average American vehicle has grown about 8 inches taller, 10 inches longer, and 1,000 pounds heavier. Pickups alone got 24% heavier in under 2 decades. The hoods rose and squared off into flat vertical walls. That wasn't an engineering accident, either. It was a look. The designer of one of GM's biggest trucks described the goal in his own words: they wanted it to look like it's going to come get you. That wall of steel has a body count. A tall, blunt front end doesn't sweep a person down and aside the way a low car does. It strikes them in the chest and the head and drags them underneath. Vehicles with hoods over 40 inches are 45% more likely to kill the pedestrian they hit. Pedestrian deaths in America are now at a 40-year high, and researchers estimate that hundreds of those deaths every single year happen for one reason only: the vehicles got bigger. So why keep building them this way? Because a single pickup can earn an automaker 4 to 5 times the profit of a sedan. That is the whole answer. It became so profitable that Ford essentially stopped selling cars in America altogether to build more trucks. The bigger it is, the looser the rules. The looser the rules, the higher the price. The higher the price, the fatter the margin. Everyone in the system wins except the kid in the blind spot. Here's what nobody wants to say out loud. The American truck didn't get enormous because America got tougher, or richer, or more rural. It got enormous because a tax, a category, and a formula quietly turned bigger into the most profitable word in the entire industry and made small almost impossible to sell. We didn't choose the monster in the driveway. We wrote the rules that built it, and then told ourselves it was our own idea. So maybe the real question isn't why American trucks got so big. Maybe it's why we keep rewarding the exact thing that's killing people on our own streets and calling it freedom. Because the truck is only half the story. A machine that size needs somewhere to sit, and to make room for it, America paved over an area the size of entire states. There's a video right here on how American parking lots got so unbelievably huge. It's the same blueprint, and it's the same bill, still coming due.